Welcome to the Buddhist Temple of Toledo. Please be seated and turn to page 2 in your liturgy books. Gata of atonement, all evil karma ever committed by me since of old on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought. Now I atone for it all evil karma ever committed by me since of old on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought. Now I atone for it all evil karma ever committed by me since of old on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought. Now I atone for it all evil karma ever committed by me since of old on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought. Now I atone for it all anger and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought. Now I atone for it all. Nikaya, 3 refuges. Buddham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Sangha. I take refuge in Sangha. The 5 remembrances. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. This precious human life, rarely encountered, is easily lost. Now that I have life and opportunity, may I practice the Dharma wholeheartedly. Mahayana Refuge. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. Invocation of the lineage. I give thanks for the guidance of my teachers, for the lineage of teachers before them. I give thanks and offerings for their devoted practice of generosity, moral discipline, patience, joyful effort, concentration, wisdom, skillful means, unshakable vow, spiritual powers, and awakened awareness for my benefit. May their years of life be lengthened, may their vows be completely realized, and may I cultivate these perfections with their guidance. 7 practices of the Bodhisattva. I bow down in body, speech, and mind. I offer the best I have to give, both real and imagined, to fill the space between us. I regret and purify all transgressions. I rejoice in all virtues. I request you to remain until total enlightenment. I request wise and compassionate guidance. I dedicate my merit for the sake of all beings. Generating love and compassion. May all sentient beings be free from clinging and hatred. Being close to some and distant from others, how wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will free them from clinging and hatred. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will bring them happiness and the causes of happiness. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will free them from suffering and the causes of suffering. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings have the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from clinging, hatred, jealousy, miserliness, doubt, pride, wrong view, ignorance, and dualistic thoughts. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will bring them to this state. Bless me to accomplish this. Please stand for the harmony of relative and absolute, found on page 5 of your liturgy books. The harmony of relative and absolute. The mind of the the great sage of India is intimately conveyed from west to east among human beings are wise ones and fools, but in the way there is no northern or southern ancestor. The subtle source is clear and bright. The tributaries, streams flow through the darkness. To be attached to things is illusion. To encounter the absolute is not yet enlightenment. Each and all the subjective and objective spheres are related and at the same time independent, related yet differently, though each keeps its own place. Form makes the character and appearance different. Sounds distinguish comfort and discomfort. Words one, the brightness distinguishes good and bad phrases. The four elements return to their nature as a child to its mother. Fire is hot, wind moves, water is wet, earth hard, eyes see, ears hear, nose smells, tongue tastes the salt and sour. Each is independent of the other. Cause and effect must return to the great reality. The words high and low are used relatively. Within light there is darkness, but do not try to understand that darkness. Within darkness there is light, but do not look for that light. Light and darkness are a pair, not one, not two, like the foot before and the foot behind. In walking, each thing has its own intrinsic value and is related to everything else in function and position. Ordinary life fits the absolute as a box and its lid. The absolute works together with the relative, like two arrows meeting in midair. Reading words, you should grasp the great reality. Do not judge by any standards. If you do not see the way, you do not see it, even as you walk on it. But if you turn away, it is not near, it is not far. But if you are confused, mountains and rivers block your way. I respectfully urge you who study the mystery, do not pass your days and nights in vain. Infinite realms of light and dark convey the Buddha mind. All that is and we ourselves come forth in perfect harmony. We offer this sincere and devoted practice for the many beings of the 6 worlds and dedicate it in grateful thanks to the strength and sound practice of the great Heartland Sangha and its teachers. May our virtuous actions be clear from all interferences, and may our vows be fully realized. We especially dedicate these merits to all those who suffer as a result of injustices, calamity, cruelty, and war, and to Terry, Bob, Jan, Wendy, Chris, Laverne, Jack, Roger, Soke, Corin, Evan, Sarah, Darcy, and Ned. May they have peace and healing. And to Bruce, Bridget, Dylan, Molly, and Tom at the time of their death. Also to those we hold in the silence of our hearts, as well as those whose names we now voice aloud. May we live in perfect peace with Buddha Dharma, and may we realize the Buddha way together. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all honored ones, Bodhisattva, Mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom, Mahaprajna, Paramita. Dharma school children and teachers all are dismissed. Everyone else, please prepare for Zazen. We will now recite the Sangha Covenant found on page 8. We, the Daishin Kokuji Sangha, with respect for the worth and dignity of each person, with wonder at the wisdom and compassion we seek to cultivate by practice, and with deep gratitude for the teachers of this lineage and our connection to one another, covenant to support each other by upholding the precepts of doing no harm, practicing good, and actualizing good for others. Please be seated. I'll sit comfortably so you can see the teacher. And in a moment, we will recite the Gata on opening the sutra, also on page 8. Gata on opening the sutra. The Dharma incomparably profound and infinitely subtle is rarely encountered even in millions of ages. Now we see it, hear it, receive and maintain it. May we completely realize the Tathagata's true meaning.
Everybody all cozy in there? Ready to go? Good. Oh, thank you all for being here on this beautiful day. With all the runners going by and all the activity happening in the temple. So much going on. Jukai class, alarm room class, the kitchen. It's really, it's pretty amazing actually. Thank you all. sort of this little island of sanity in the world. Thank you for bringing it, right? Okay, so we are on the last paragraph of the outline of practice. And I encourage you to continue to just read the outline once a day. It's very short. And that repetition starts to work on your heart and on your mind. That's the same principle that is at play when we do the liturgy every day. And for that matter, sitting every day. So it is you. It becomes you. You express the Dharma. So we'll look at the fourth paragraph. Fourth, so should we recap where we've been? Perhaps just a little bit. So he's going through the Four Noble Truths, right? First one is that life is suffering, right? There's a cause for that suffering, conditions that give rise to that. And there's an end to that suffering. There's a cessation. And when we realize that those three things are true, we then start practicing the Dharma. And that's number 4. Fourth, practicing the Dharma. The Dharma is the truth that all natures are pure. The Dharma is the truth that all natures are pure. Pretty much that's all you need to know, right? Right there. How do we realize that that's true in our hearts and in our life, in our mind? By this truth, all appearances are empty. Defilement and attachment, subject and object, don't exist. The sutras say the Dharma includes no being because it's free from the impurity of being. And the Dharma includes no self because it's free from the impurity of self. Those wise enough to believe and understand this truth are bound to practice according to the Dharma. And since that which is real includes nothing worth begrudging, they give their body, life, property, and charity without regret, without the vanity of giver, gift, or recipient, and without bias or attachment. You can feel the freedom in that, can't you? And to eliminate impurity, they teach others, but without becoming attached to form. Thus, through their own practice, they're able to help others and glorify the way of enlightenment. And as with charity, they also practice the other virtues. But while practicing the 6 virtues to eliminate delusion, they practice nothing at all. That is what is meant by practicing the Dharma. So you can feel that Bodhidharma is taking us immediately into this realm of deep mystery and deep not knowing. This is the signature tune of Zen. Zen is always going to go directly to the wisdom aspect of Dharma training. Well, you have to understand that it's part of a larger matrix, okay? And there are 3 main principles of Dharma training, right? Very simple. Morality. So that's what all folks are doing in Jukai, getting their mind stream correct, purifying and going through the confessional process, clarifying what is virtuous activity, what is non-virtuous activity. That's the first order of business. The second is concentration, getting your mind to settle down enough and be quiet enough and receptive enough to realize the reality of the moment that we're in, not as we contrive it to be, not as the story we make it up to be, but as what's really happening here, right? And then finally is wisdom. So Zen famously just goes for the jugular, right? It just goes for the wisdom right away. And there's some really great aspects to that. Sometimes it feels you might skip a few steps, but fear not. At the Buddhist temple of Toledo, we have you covered because we are very aware that we don't want to skip steps and we want to include the totality of Dharma practice. So let's just look at it a little bit more. So practicing the Dharma. So here, the translation could be and probably should be practicing the Buddha Dharma. So you're, well, let's look at practicing, right? So practicing means we are pretty much moment to moment dedicating our lives to awakening, which is Buddha, and Dharma here is reality. Now for Bodhidharma, the reality is purity. The Dharma is pure. All natures, the Dharma is the truth that all natures are pure. So with that North Star, that's what we're practicing. We get into trouble, right, when we're sitting or we're having an experience, right, and something flies up or comes into our perception, and it seems so not pure, right? Just the opposite of pure. A huge, huge problem, right? A big, big disturbance, right? We were just working on that in the Lam Rim class. So don't have a hissy fit about that. It's really important not to get all cray-cray about that, all right? Because this is simply our karmic habit patterns coming forth, right? All kinds of causes and conditions cause this. There's all kinds of reasons why it's coming up. But as a Dharma practitioner, with that North Star of like the Dharma is the practice of purity, right? At first, we have to take that on faith, right? What's arising is pure, regardless of the content. But eventually, what happens is because you follow the instructions, you see something arising, you acknowledge it and you let it go, that fundamental purity is like, oh, yeah, and you don't even kind of feel it creeping up on you sometimes, right? It's like, I feel different that I'm sitting and I'm practicing. I don't even know exactly what's happening here, but something's happening. I'm changing. I'm getting a little kinder, a little softer, a little bit more tolerant. That's because you're practicing your own purity and the purity of reality. And thank God, you don't have to manufacture it, right? It's just the truth. So by this truth, all appearances are empty. So a lot of pen and ink and thinking has been spilled over this particular sentence. By this truth, all appearances are empty. And you can go into the explanation of that, but I think it really, and it's important to have a general sense of what that means. But the direct experience of it is what we're after. And the direct experience of that is what Bodhidharma was after. So to that end, I'm going to read a little bit from Hongji so that we get the feeling tone and the flavor of what he's talking about rather than just trying to explain it. In Zen, famously, we don't want to hear you explain the thing, right? I have a song about that. Show me, don't tell me, show me, don't tell me, show me, don't tell me. Okay. All right, here we go. The name of this particular little fascicle here is called Beaming Through All Gloom. So beaming through all of the things that throw themselves up that would try to convince you that this is not a moment of purity. The gloom, right? Some people are very good at the gloom, right? Okay. Study the Buddha, study the Buddha's teachings, research his lineage subtly. This is the most important thing. You must clarify your heart. Dive into the spirit and silently wander in contemplation, apprehending the Dharma's source. What is the source of the purity? You can feel right away you're in this very mysterious place. Without pettiness or weaving hairs to create an obstacle, be magnanimous beyond appearances. Beam through appearances. Be magnanimous. Be the boundless purity that is the Dharma. Splendid and lustrous, like the waters moistening autumn. Noble, like the moon overwhelming the darkness. From the beginning, just beam through all gloom. Profoundly free from stain. Constantly still and constantly glorious. The stillness is not extinguished by causes, by the relative. The glory is not marred by shadows, all of those gloomy things that keep arising. Vacant, round, pure, the empty kalpa will not shift, shake, or obscure the source. Can't be mucked around with. And we are not separate from the source. Able to be serene and able to know, here you can walk securely. Remember that poor, maladaptive, samsaric ego That's all we want, is a little bit of security and a little bit of safety, and we'll do anything and everything we have to do to get it, right? But here, when we are in the mystery of the source, able to know and walk securely, each one of us walking securely. Does the world not need more people walking around secure in the truth of reality? Yeah, I think it needs a lot of that. The jade vessel turns over on its side, at once dispensing energy for you to return, right? Share yourself and respond to the world. Isn't that nice? From that direct, intimate experience of this source, of this Dharma purity, we just return to the world and respond to the world, not separate from that, including perceiving that everybody else and everything else isn't separate from that. We're in a very different way of being in life right now. Very different. It's so easy to love. So easy to love. In this realm are the separate limited forms, but all are only what the self establishes, arising alongside our own four elements. How could there be obstructions? Since this mind is entirely without obstruction, there's no difference between that one and me. Self and other are not separated by names. So one of the marks of getting it wrong, of ignorance, is that we take what's called mere imputation, mere naming for reality, right? Sounds and colors crowd in together. When you're sitting zazen, that is absolutely verified. Carefree and transcendent, directly leaping into each other. You can feel the natural joy and bliss of that. So it is said that mountains and rivers are not separated. You should embody this like the brightness apparent everywhere. So this is Dharma practice. You know, and you can feel like this is like your heart's desire, right? You can feel the depths of like, oh, wow, as a human being, I can actually walk around like this. Those wise enough to believe and understand this truth are bound to practice according to the Dharma. So we hear these words, we feel the truth of them, and it's so natural to practice Dharma. What else would you do with your life? Because when you're practicing Dharma, we're constantly verifying the truth of who we are. And it, you know, generally when you're on the side of truth, it works out pretty well, right? And since that which is real includes nothing worth begrudging, they give their body, life, and property and charity with wisdom, right? I don't want to like saw off your legs, without regret, without the vanity of giver, receiver, or recipient. So those who do sesshin, you remember when we do oryoki, we chant to be able to have a direct experience of the emptiness of giver, receiver, and gift in the meal. Through their own practice, they're able to help others and glorify the way of enlightenment. So through your own practice, the practice that you're doing every day, you are helping yourself and you're helping others. That's called Bodhi mind. It's very simple and it's quite ordinary, even as it is this extraordinary expression that Hongji just gave us. As with charity, they also practice the other virtues. So we say those all the time. Those are the paramitas, the perfections of the character of the bodhisattva. Generosity, morality, joyful effort, and so forth and so on. They practice nothing at all. So this is the Bodhisattva's secret sauce. This is what Bodhidharma is directly pointing us to. How is it that you're practicing all of these activities of giving and morality and this and that and the other thing, but you're practicing nothing at all? What does that mean? The only way to enter into that directly is through prajna, through wisdom, intuitive wisdom. And it's really easy to do, right? All you do, see what's ever arising, acknowledge what's happening, let it go, and the natural purity, the natural intuition, the natural wisdom that we were born with, just, it's right there, boom. And that's moment to moment to moment. And finally, in honor of Bodhidharma, I thought it might be interesting. So what's it like? So someone has dedicated their life to being a bodhisattva and has just done all the things. What is their life like? What is it? Who are they? I thought we could meet some of them. This was a talk that the Buddha was giving, and some bodhisattvas showed up. Their names were endowed with right up the back. Good knowledge. I have to come back to that one. I wish I had looked at that earlier. Okay. I did look at it, but I didn't realize that I have to actually say it. That is a thing, actually, right? Like you can have all of this feeling and this intuition or whatever, but to actually express it and get it out there, oh my gosh, it is not easy sometimes. And I'm still struggling with that. Okay. Their names were that person, endowed with essential knowledge, endowed with unattached knowledge, endowed with blossoming knowledge, endowed with sun-like knowledge, endowed with moon-like knowledge, endowed with undefiled knowledge, endowed with adamantine knowledge, endowed with unemotional knowledge, endowed with radiant knowledge, star-like, mountain-like, jewel-like, unattached, flower-like, undefiled, sun-like, resplendent, dispassionate, radiant, jewel energy, great energy, knowledge thunderbolt energy, undefiled energy, energy of the sun of truth, virtue mountain energy, energy of the light of knowledge, universal glorious energy, universal light energy, earth matrix, sky matrix, lotus calyx, jewel matrix, sun matrix, matrix of virtues, matrix of the ocean of truths, matrix of radiance, matrix of origination, matrix of lotus splendor, good eye, pure eye, undefiled eye, unobstructed eye, all-seeing eye, perceptive eye, observant eye, lotus eye, adamantine eye, jewel eye, space eye, universal eye, celestial crown, crown of jewels which give birth to all Buddhas, crown beyond all worlds, all-illumining crown, invincible crown, crown of jewels illuminating all things in the cosmos, crown of the essence of enlightenment, radiant crown, crown of jewels inset with the lion thrones of all Buddhas, crown illuminating the space of the whole cosmos, crest of Lord Brahma, crest of the Lord of Dragons, crest of lights emanated by all Buddhas, crest of the essence of enlightenment, crest of most excellent jewels of the sound of the ocean of all vows, crest of a spew of jewels emanating the halos of all Buddhas, crest adorned with jewels showing the non-differentiation of all surfaces of space, crest covered with a net of the finest jewels representing the lights magically produced by all Buddhas, crest of sounds of the wheel of teaching of all Buddhas, crest uttering the names of everything in past, present, and future, great light, undefiled light, light of undefiled energy, jewel light, dispassionate light, starlight, light of truth, light of peace, sunlight, magical light, celestial light, torch of virtue, torch of knowledge, torch of truth, torch of super knowledge, torch of light, flower torch, torch of enlightenment, torch of Brahma, torch of universal illumination, jewel torch, Brahma sound, ocean sound, earth roaring sound, voice of a world leader, sound of mountains colliding, voice pervading all universes, sound emitted by the ocean of all universes, sound of crushing all armies of demons, sound emitted by all didactic devices of great compassion, sound of stopping the suffering of all worlds and giving comfort, born of truth, born of excellence, born of knowledge, born of a polar mountain of virtue, born of radiance of virtues, born of splendor, born of universal illumination, born of great kindness, born of a store of knowledge, born of the family of the Buddhas, glowing splendor, preeminent splendor, exalted splendor, radiant splendor, splendor of truth, splendor of the moon, splendor of the sky, jewel splendor, splendor of brilliance, splendor of knowledge, mountain Lord, Lord of truth, Lord of the world, Lord Brahma, Lord of the masses, Lord of gods, Lord of peace, immutable Lord, mighty Lord, eminent Lord, supremely tranquil voice, unobstructed voice, voice of earth, voice of ocean, voice of thunder, voice of the light of truth, voice of space, voice of the roots of goodness of all beings, voice of encouragement of all past vows, jewel awareness, knowing awareness, space-like awareness, unattached awareness, undefiled awareness, purified awareness, awareness of all times, powerful awareness, all observing awareness, awareness of the ways to the reality realm. They were all there. And what are the names of those of us here? Which radiance will you be? What will your name be as you become a cosmological, universal bodhisattva and join with all the other Buddhas and bodhisattvas throughout space and time? This is Bodhidharma's invitation. May it be so. We dedicate the merit.
Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. you all for choosing to be here today. That ends the streaming portion of our service. Are there any announcements?